All right. I'm on hole number 7 of the Holiday Hills tourney. This is going to be the hole. This video was shot during the Christmas links. And so there's several different ways that you can come at it. My opponent is going to come at it from the right-hand side. And you can do the bounce over from this island. You can do the bounce over from where my opponent's at, or you can start off on the green side. And when we talk about risk versus reward, this is one of those holes where these particular type of bounce over shots, it's very easy if you're not super good at wind adjustments and you're not using the wind ring method, that these bouncing over, you have to make really good wind adjustments in order to have really good result. And it's one of those holes that you're going to see a lot of people clipping the rough either on the first bounce or on the second bounce and ending up getting a par on this par 3. And there's a lot of other opportunities in this tournament. Some par 3s, you can go for it, but these par 3s where you have multiple different ways to go at it, and you can get in trouble. So here's my setup on this shot. You can see where my blue ring down here is and my white ring right here. So what I've got is I've got my blue ring down on the transition between the fairway and the rough. And I've got my white ring on the transition between the fringe and the green. And I'm using maximum backspin, all the backspin I can get on, and then however much right-hand side spin is left. Now, a lot of times when I do curl shots, sometimes you're putting on curl to bring it back to the fairway and you're trying to just kind of move the ball in one direction or another. But when I'm doing these shots where from the tee we're using a lot of curl, I will try and set them up where I'm using all of the curl because that's repeatable. So if you come on there and you go, okay, here's your needle and here's your ring set and you're moving it over, like what's one ball? Is one ball where it's up against the front, up against that, or is one ball where it's right in the center when you're moving it over? Here's the max out here, like where, hey, I was using half curl. Well, where's half curl? There's no meter on this. So a lot of times when I'm using a lot of curl, what I'll do is I'll use max curl. Now that's a set. Hey, I can go back and use max curl every time. I'm not having to go, well, I'm using 3/4 curl. Well, where's 3/4 curl on this? And so a lot of times when I set these shots up and I know I'm going to need curl, I will do max curl and then I'll adjust out here. Like what I found originally when I came to this hole, when we first started playing this hole when it was brand new, was I had my clear ring where my white ring was. So I was over this direction, over to the right, one ring. And what I found is that, here's the pin. I was rolling past it and ending up long out here. So to try and bring it back to the hole, I started moving my ring set to the left to try and cover this distance. So when I do these par 3s, a lot of times I am really looking for some kind of marker on the course. And my marker on this course is blue ring up against the transition between the rough and the fringe, or rough and the fairway, and white ring between the transition between the fringe and the green. And when I put on max curl, max backspin, whatever side spin's left, I can see where my ball's ending up, and then I can make adjustments in the placement out here and keep the rest of those things standard so that I can try and repeat the shot. This particular par 3, in my opinion, is not a super high percentage hole that you're going to get a hole-in-one on. You probably, and you definitely do, probably have a better shot if you're bouncing over the islands. And there's one island, two islands in the green. This island here on the right-hand side probably gives you your best shot. I see a lot of people hitting from over here trying to bring it back over to the pin. And I see a lot of people, it's kind of a 50-50. I see a lot of people doing both of these shots. I don't see a lot of people doing the shot that I'm doing, but what I do see is a lot of people ending up clipping the rough over here, or clipping the rough over here, and ending up, or in the sand when they bounce over and they've got to do a chip up or I've got to do a rough shot to get up there. When I come to this hole, I get a birdie every single time, pretty much guaranteed. And really, on this particular type of hole, my goal is to make sure that I get a birdie every time and then try and increase my chances of getting a hole-in-one by working this setup out here in the field. So this particular club hits 1.9 per ring. So we got a 2-7 win. So that leaves me 8. So that's about a ring and a half. And then max curl. And I was short shooting that a little bit. And that short shooting, it actually affects right here because I was a little bit on the inside. If I hadn't short shot it, I might have been able to pick up that distance. But you can get that close every time with zero chance of ending up in the rough or the sand and getting a par on this. The other par threes that are going to be in the Holiday Hills tourney, especially the first one, you definitely have a shot. You know, you're coming at it with a wood club, and so you can run it up in there. There's not a lot of risk on that hole. You may overshoot it, you may undershoot it, but you're going to be up there on the green. You'd really have to try hard to mess that hole up. But this is one of those holes that it can eat your lunch if you don't set it up properly. The second par three that's going to be in the Holiday Hills is also a wood shot. So once again, we're coming at those where there's very little risk when we're doing it, but that particular par three, there's definitely some risk when you're doing the shot, and we don't want to take any risks. All right, that was hole number 7 of the Holiday Hills tournament. Thanks for watching.